So I'm here to talk to you about drones and data in ag. It's a big part of my job and what I do quite often. In broader strokes, it basically comes down to precision agriculture. And what is precision agriculture? Precision agriculture basically takes data and makes more efficient use out of inputs, resources, or energy as people manage crop or livestock farms. So this is an example of what something like that might look like. This is a farmer that is not driving a combine, but a satellite that is driving a combine. This is becoming more and more prevalent across all of our agricultural production systems. And so specifically, I want to talk about drones as they're becoming more and more prevalent in our society. Fun fact, at the beginning of 2015, there were about 12 companies that could commercially operate drones in the United States. As of today, there are 5,864. So that is a significant increase I'll get to here a little later. So basically, what do drones facilitate? I'll start off with drones can help from a vantage point. So this is a cornfield right here, and if you look at the very top of it, the laser's not working. There's a road that runs along the top of the field. If you just look and the corn's at a stand density that's fairly high, you're not going to see the bad part of your field, which is right in the dead center. So drones really help out from a vantage point and being able to provide you with input that you would not otherwise receive. And so then we get down to image collection. So who wants to talk about chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is basically the stuff that turns plants green and takes sunlight and turns it into food or energy. And so basically every molecule or piece of matter has an electromagnetic signature. And so in agriculture, our area of interest is from 700 nanometers to 300 nanometers, and this encompasses basically everything from human cells to molecules, and then obviously you can see on either end it's football fields to subatomic particles. This is an infographic of how it actually works. So a dead leaf will not reflect the same light bands as a healthy leaf would. And across that spectrum, you can diagnose plants for disease or lack of moisture or a number of other ailments. So what do images do for us? So this is a long list of things such as yield monitoring, variable rate technology for seeding or spraying. I can go on and on, but really I know this is a room full of software people, so we have data and APIs and SaaS and cloud and algorithms is what all this stuff effectively delivers at the end of the day. What drones probably won't do is carry huge tanks to spray fertilizer. If you look on the right, that is a Predator drone carrying 2 Hellfire missiles. The U.S. military is lobbing them all over the place. And we have a tractor here on the left that's got a 500 to 1,000 pound water tank. And that's just really heavy to get up into the air. So I don't see that really anytime in the near future unless everyone's just flying aircraft. So getting down to the business side of things, Section 333 is what I alluded to earlier, how there's now about just shy of 5,500 licenses here in the United States to operate drones. About 33% of those are in agriculture, which really puts us in a difficult position to evaluate what's a wise investment and what's not, just due to the sheer flood of business models that haven't matured just yet. There's also an economic bottleneck with scalability, and some of this has to do with that FAA Section 333 certification, but the amount of human labor that goes into this, so this isn't just the SaaS and the algorithms and the clouds, this is actually people on the ground you have to pay. You have to pay 2 pilots, you have to pay imagery analysts, and so on and so on, which makes it really difficult to scale a business. Just from an economic standpoint, there are basically quadcopters and fixed drones. Quadcopters do not have very good margins versus the fixed-wing drone, but what I will say is if you're looking for granularity, you need a copter drone, which is moves up and down like a helicopter. And so then finally, unless you grow opium, cannabis, or cocaine, it's really hard to have a successful business model in agriculture. If you look at wheat, corn, and soybeans, which are 3 of the largest grown crops here in the United States, they are extremely small margins. A bushel of corn now I think is going for about $3.80, which really leaves very little on the back end for farmers to purchase aftermarket products. But if you look at grapes and tomatoes, and we got vegetables right there, the margins are a little bit higher, leaving farmers with a little bit more cash on the back end of things to purchase these aftermarket products. Think about wine. Wine is truly separated by what the quality of the produce is versus corn. Corn is corn. So that wraps up my talk. I appreciate your time.